Congressman Dan Newhouse. Dan, good to see you. So Merrick Garland may not know or have a theory behind why the Chinese are coming here, setting up grow operations for marijuana. But do you or the committee, do you have a theory on what the Chinese are doing here, and are you investigating?
Well, great to be with you, Sean and Dagan. It's a pleasure to talk about something so important to our country. And being on the select committee, we have our theories. We have some ideas. We don't know definitively, but I got to believe that part of the reason that they're here is for profit. Absolutely making money in the United States. But I think there's a deeper strategy here. China is not our friend. They are not our ally. And they have a long-term strategy to dominate the world. And one of the ways that they can do that is to undermine and weaken their adversaries, which we are. And so I think that's exactly what we're seeing. You know, I'm sure you noticed that just this week, the Select Committee had a hearing on precursors of fentanyl coming into our country from China. I think this is related.
Well, that the CCP, that the Communist Party of China, subsidizes the precursors, and that they come across the border, and not just at ports of entry, but all across our wide open border. But really quickly, Congressman, but undermining the U.S. how? Are they producing some strain of marijuana that is incredibly dangerous? We know that high THC marijuana causes psychosis in young people. What are we talking about here? Deadly marijuana, potentially?
So I don't know the particulars about the strains that they're growing here. I'm sure, today's marijuana is way different than it used to be years ago. It's much stronger, much higher levels of all the chemicals that they're looking for. I can tell you, though, when it comes to the fentanyl, the Chinese are very proud of the fact that they tell us, 0 deaths annually from drug overdoses, where here in the United States, we have over 100,000 a year, and mostly from fentanyl overdoses. So I think this truly fits in the long-term strategy to undermine, to weaken their adversaries. There is mounting evidence.
They're killing us.
Absolutely.
They killed us with COVID. Now they're killing us with their fentanyl.
Addicted to drugs. All right, Congressman, let's go to this, because it's not often we see that Democrats and Republicans, that they actually agree on anything these days in Congress. Yeah. But you're co-sponsoring a bipartisan bill aimed at preventing China from controlling America's food supply. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. We're trying to get it to the bottom of the Chinese, like we've seen around the world do, to infiltrate many different kinds of industries and take control of different pieces of infrastructure. One of the things that's most important to us is our food supply, and making sure the Chinese are not purchasing any vital link in the supply chain of our food supply. That is an issue of national security. So I have legislation working, like you said, in a bipartisan way to make sure that we can do all we can to prevent the Chinese from gaining a foothold in our food production. And then we being at the mercy of whatever they want to have happen and hold us hostage in an event that something like an invasion of Taiwan happens, for instance. We would be very vulnerable in that situation. There is mounting evidence.
They're killing us. Absolutely. They killed us with COVID. Now they're killing us with their fentanyl. Go ahead.
There is mounting evidence.
They're killing us. They killed us with COVID. Now they're killing us with their fentanyl. Go ahead.